Are they going to see us?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah. So We got to laugh, guys.
That's so good.
LOL.
I can't believe you had those in your pants. That was like crazy.
In the whole time.
The
The
whole
pants,
time.
always with the pants. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, strap in. You are here for another Calirado Kid live stream, and no, I don't really need the sunglasses anymore. As you can see, the sunlight's just not cooperating with us today, but ladies and gentlemen, we are out at Sky Park Bike Park. There's two parks in the
Sky Park at Santa's Village is the legitimate name.
but on Instagram, there's Sky Park's Bikes Park.
Sky Park Bike Park.
And there's Santa's Village.
And
Two
there's
separate
Sky
accounts.
Park, Santa's
Really?
Village, yeah.
We're focused on the bike park
But
today.
we are focused on the bike park.
We are very much at the bike park because, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are mountain bikers, and here we are, live, sitting at Sky Park, which, by the way, this is my first time here, and it is absolutely incredible. Like, we're going to talk about this for a little bit today, but man, let's talk about, first of all, who's jumped in here in live chat, and we can talk about and see what's going on. Octodad's here from New Zealand, which I finally got it right, Octodad. I know I kept saying Australia, and I know I don't know the different regions of the southern hemisphere, or is that the western?
New Zealand?
New Zealand?
Wait, is that near New England?
Yeah,
No.
it's a
No,
new
it's
something.
not.
It's not really new anymore, but yeah. But before we get to all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure you guys are familiar with our guests here tonight, which you guys all know who they are more than you know who I am. Let's be completely honest. We've got MTB Allen, and we've got Tony from the Outsider channel, and we are here at Sky Park, and I am super stoked. We're going to talk about my experiences, like the first time out here, and then we got all kinds of other mountain biking topics I'm sure we'll talk about, which, yeah, we've all planned out really well, right?
Yeah.
We have a
got
full-on list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got bullets. We made bullets.
Yes.
An entire list. Anyways, Tania rides. We ran into her tonight, which is super funny because she's a Northern California rider. I don't know. I guess this is considered Southern California.
Could you say that again?
Tania rides.
Tania rides.
Yep. Ninja Mom. She was here today. We got to run into her. Segment is in here. Crispy. Kyle, of course, is in here, and I'm willing to bet that Kyle is very jealous that he's not here. This is the first live stream I've done that he hasn't been on in quite some time. Adam Mock is in here. Enlisted Trailheads. Look, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. That's why ladies and gentlemen is great because it covers all the bases.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. We're out here at Sky Park. How you guys feeling today?
Pretty good. Quick shout out. We saw Adam Mock here earlier. He was here, and Aaron from Trail Dogs, MTB, was out.
That's right. And so is Adam from MTB Rad Dad.
MTB Rad Dad. Not MTB Crashing Dad.
No, different channels.
Different dad of
different
Rad and
people
Rad.
in general.
Different MTB
Yeah.
Dad.
And we consistently referred to him as the Crashing Dad as a joke, and I think it sunk in pretty good.
I think I called him Adam.
Well, that's his name.
Aaron. I called
Yeah,
him
you call him Aaron, yeah.
I kept calling him Aaron.
You might have called him Aaron Adam. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Same
It's
name.
okay. It's Aaron.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there we go. We're going to bring up this. There you go. We got the mics there. There you go. Okay, Alan is throwing Beatles vibe hardcore. Yeah, that's very true.
And this is helmet hair, too. I don't know which camera to look at, but folks.
You use a lot of
this is
hairspray, though. It stays in the
It's
position.
called sweat.
Oh.
The hairspray is like built into my scalp.
Yeah.
It just comes out.
Yeah. I'll try to bring up Alan a little bit. Alan's sharing the same mics as I am. Like I said, guests never talk quite as loud as I do. And that's,
Why
the
not talk-
I
advantage
can
to that
talk
is,
louder.
Yeah, you want us to shout?
I think so.
We can. How's
we can do
this?
that. Yeah.
Testing.
I think we'll have it fine.
All right.
Look, you guys have to understand I have a history in radio and I project my voice way more than I should. And I know that it annoys a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's just a natural
I would rather
thing.
hear you and be annoyed with you than not hear you and not be annoyed with you. Does that make sense? Did I just lay down some fabric right there? What's happening? All right, let's move on.
I will say it's a natural benefit because having the Onyx wheels on my bike, nobody can hear me coming. So as a result, I just talk really loud, and then that's my methodology for letting people know that I'm coming.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, so we're here. I want to spend a moment to obviously thank Sky Park for letting us come out here and letting us do this. They had a full-on IT guy come out and set up, get the the network connection over here, get the power, get everything dialed in. He even sorted out.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
Sorry, I thought he was.
I know.
But
That's why I said IT guy.
Brad helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
He what's his last name?
Brad Hildebrand, I think. But he's
like the.
he's the
was an
go-to
awesome
guy. Brad is a guy that is just an all-encompassing great guy here at Sky Park, and I'm glad. I was hitting you up last night. I'm like, did he give you a pass? And, Alan hooked it up.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Brad's a really great guy.
Thank you, Brad.
And super appreciative for him putting this stuff out and letting us have these extra hours, right? Because it's kind of closed right now in a way.
Yeah, it really is. And we literally couldn't have done it without him. The coolest part is that, I found out maybe I got, into town last night. Shut up, bird! I got into town last night, and
Don't start with the birds.
I know. The bird
just dropped dead. Did you see that?
I know. It
It's
just dropped
over
dead.
there.
No, there's no dead bird.
Oh my God.
But I got into town yesterday. You're like, oh, he okayed it. I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't have a chance to read the email because I was driving for a couple hours after the whole camel farm thing. And so, like, we were like, okay, well, let's do that.
That's what, like, wait. Well, we'll save the camel.
We'll get back to the
You just glossed over after the whole camel farm thing. Like, that's like a. Okay. Anyway, let's just we'll move past it for now.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next live stream. It's fine. Nobody will know the difference. They won't get it. It's totally fine.
But he helped us out. Like we sent a couple of emails. Brad hooked us up. He had an awesome IT person out here who took care of us, took care of you, had great internet. So hopefully we're not lagging or anything.
Sky Park is on our side.
Sky Park is on your side.
There it is.
You have to love it. Like, I love like when you go to a place that gets it, and this place obviously gets it.
Yeah.
Like, they're set up, they're dialed in. I've never been here, so we're gonna kind of talk about our experiences, at least my experiences as a first-time rider out here today.
I think that sentence that Sky Park gets it, like, that sums up Sky Park. They just get mountain bikers.
I mean, Alan has his own trail.
Yeah.
In a way.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, all right.
We'll bring that up later. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting because like we talked about the idea of like this place being like basically designed for, it's like a mountain bike playground. And I told somebody earlier, like basically it's like a playground for adults. Like you come here and you feel like a kid again. Like you're going up and down. The whole atmosphere is great. It's super exciting. And it's like, we don't have anything like that in Northern California. So I'm really glad I got to experience this today.
Yeah, so one of the things I was gonna say, a lot of people get deterred because this bike park is pedal. It doesn't have a lift.
Yeah.
But once you get here, you kind of understand how it works, and you're like, well, it's a short pedal, and it's either 10 minutes at the longest, or you can go down halfway, and there's a midpoint, which is only 3 minutes or something of a pedal. So it's weird because people, when I say bike park, and I'm like, it's pedaling, well, there's no lift, because if there was a lift here, it would be kind of silly, right? Because it's so short.
And
it's a mellow climb.
And it's a mellow climb that you don't really feel it. I mean,
in the shade.
It's in the shade, and especially for SoCal, that's huge. Like how many?
A lot of the times they spray down parts of the trail.
They're always keeping it watered down. It's just like a really, like when BCPOV came here with Yuga, they immediately, he was just like coming off the desert trip, and he was like, man, I feel like I'm back in home. I feel like I'm back in Vancouver or Canada, because it's just big pines and you're in the shade the whole day, and you kind of are in a lot of wood features, and you feel like you're kind of in a different place. It kind of removes you from that SoCal desert thing.
I remember when he showed up, they were like $50.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple of runs. We did Arrow top to bottom, and as soon as we got down to the bottom of Arrow, he was like, oh, I get why they can charge $50.
Yeah.
It's so well put together and kept up.
So let's turn the interview on you, or like turn it to you for a little bit, since we're like Sky Park regulars.
Yeah.
Like, you got to ride Sleigh Ride, Arrow, top to bottom, Neverland, and Comet.
And Jump Line.
And Neverland.
Oh yeah, Neverland, Jump Line.
Do you have a particular trail you like preferred?
That's hard to say. Like I'm not gonna say they all blend together, but like it was really like, and it's funny because you talk about the climbing here, like it's as easily graded as it possibly could be.
Right.
Like, so like at the beginning of the day, it's just like, oh, we're at the top already, like no problem, and that's like a huge deal. Like I think for a lot of people, that's a huge deal. So doing the climbs was pretty easy. And then I love the fact that once you get to the top, it's like a central location where everybody spreads from. It's not like trails drop from all over the place. It's like you get to a central hub and you guys all drop in, which is super rad. And so for me, like that was a unique experience. But then like I think running the first couple trails and stuff, I think my favorite of the day would have to be Arrow, full run of Arrow. Because once they open up that section, what you call the whirligig or whatever, what did you call it?
The Ghiblies?
I call it, he calls it the Ghiblies.
Yeah.
I call it the Wiggly Worm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Adam Locke calls it Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's not going to take it? I don't know. But anyway. That thing. It's got the wiggly.
Yes.
It's got the wiggly Ghiblies.
And the great thing about Arrow from top to bottom is that it's very different from the top to the bottom. The bottom is more
Way
of like
lower.
it's a little bit longer. It's a bit lower. It's more. I want to say it's more mellow, but it's got way more features. It's longer, and it's got the Ghiblies, and it's got a couple doubles you can do.
It's got Ghiblies.
The top of Arrow is just a really fun, fast line, right?
There is a debate, and I think if you were here long enough, you would get into the debate of. Like,
I would like to debate this because I am a master debater.
Upper or lower Arrow, if you had to choose. Oh my God.
Now you're taking off your knee pads?
Yeah.
Alan's getting undressed live on stream.
I
ladies
did
and
say
gentlemen.
I was going to take apparel off.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it.
You're giving everyone a
By
treat.
the way, the first trail that we went on today, and we won't spend too much time, we got other stuff to talk about today, but we're obviously super grateful for Sky Park. But the first trail that we went on today, what was the name of the warm-up lap?
Sleigh ride.
Sleigh ride. Like, it's got a little bit of everything, like wood features, berms, like, it's basically like, hey, this is what you're gonna see here, but maybe on a grander level later on.
Yeah.
And that's super cool.
And there's not, but sleigh ride is the trail. Before I rode here, I did not know how to jump. Sleigh ride is the trail that I learned how to figure out jumps, right? Because there's not particularly say jumps, but there's like flowy sections where you're over humps, where you can learn the flow, learn the trajectory. And I took that to aero, and that's where kind of my skill progression started.
Well, that makes sense because there's like parts of sleigh ride where if you don't do anything, you just roll over it.
Yeah.
And if you give it a little pump and pull, you'll get some
especially in the bottom section where there's a couple little doubles that you can do. Anyway, yeah, it's a great place to come and for all ages and to learn jumps or start out or figure out where you're at.
What'd you think of Comet?
Comet was incredible. Like, Comet was a lot of fun. And as we talk about like some of the trails and some of the features that exist at this place, like, I think like since we got enough viewers in here, we got about 60 plus viewers in here, it might be a good opportunity to kind of really show.
That's true, yeah.
It might be because we filmed some stuff, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, we had a great time today.
Yeah.
We had an incredible time. We filmed some stuff, and it may be a great opportunity to show you guys, the viewers that are in chat that are here supporting this live stream, some of the stuff we did out here today.
Yeah. Some of the features we checked out. Yeah.
Some incredible features, by the way. So look, without further ado, I'm here to tell, wait, I'm on the wrong camera. Damn it! Without further ado, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, some of the features out here are incredible, and I want to show you them firsthand. So I hope you're ready for it. This is Sky Park, and these are some of the features we hit here today.
My favorite.
So
was the
look,
train.
there you go, there you have it. I mean, literally, like probably some of the most amazing features I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed when the train didn't pick us up.
Yeah, I was
we were like
bummed,
waiting.
yeah.
It's like a bus stop.
You were kind of broken down about that. We had to take Tony back. He had to wash his face in the bathroom for a little while.
I was in the bathroom for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
But it's okay.
Really,
You're doing better now.
I'm back at it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
We did ride some trails after that.
We
right?
did also ride some trails, yeah, and I thought Comet was like really dynamic. In fact, you worked me through, again, the name of the day was like progression. And so like starting out here, it's like really nervous on the wooden features, which is something we don't see in Northern California a ton.
Right.
If you go to something like North Star, you'll see it. Here, you see those wooden features, the wooden berms, the drops, and all that stuff that is just a playful, fun, like way to spice up a trail. And so going down Comet and like you're like, all right, hold on, there's a drop here, like guided me into it properly, unlike the other trail. But you,
it's all rollable.
yeah, it's all rollable, but you guided me in properly. And so like going into that was like, all right, I was able to get eyes on it, and I was like, all right, boom, hit it first try. And then of course, the next time coming down was just like a little bit better on the drop.
Yeah.
And MTB Rad Ted got some good footage of that.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering, it's the drop to step up on Comet.
Yeah.
For your first time though, if you come in blind, I mean, it does look awkward, right? Like you've got a big tree there. I even said this to you after, and you've got a beautifully built like wood staircase kind of down, but it still is blind. You're coming around the turn, you're kind of creeping, you're trying not to get your bar stuck on the tree.
Yep.
And then you just look ahead and it's like the first time it opens up when you've got like a 4-foot drop into like a big kind of descent there. So the first time I was freaked out. Dude, the first time I did it, that wood thing wasn't there. I think it was just like a root.
Yeah.
And it was just like
It was a log.
It was a log?
It was way funky.
This was like years ago, but yeah, they've definitely picked it up a lot.
There was like a log and there was like a rusty chain.
Yeah,
on the side.
it's safer now than it was. And there was a guy that scared you.
Yeah, there was a guy that would jump out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not terrifying enough already. Yeah, you're, like you said, coming around a tree on this wooden feature, and all of a sudden, like, you can't see the end of it. You can't see what's happening next. So you're like, is this a roll? Is this a drop? What is this?
MTB Rad Dad said he tried to roll it.
Really? How did that work out?
It turned into a full body roll.
Okay.
At that point.
I figured it might.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes on that trail. But yeah. But you hit it the first time. You looked at it, but you didn't chicken out. You did it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say I wasn't nervous at it. It was mainly because just not being warmed up, or not, like, you come in unconfident, like, in your riding ability. It's like, you know, we've talked about this, like, sometimes you have to sacrifice riding for filming or riding for editing, and as YouTubers, it's just something we have to do. And in this particular case, like, I had to spend a weekend editing instead of riding, and then that leads to basically 2 weeks of no riding, essentially. And then coming in here, it's like, oh, you're gonna ride some really cool stuff, but you're just not loose, you know? Like, so the guys that ride every day, I am very jealous. What can you do, though?
It happens. I mean, it be like, for you, we talked about this too. You have a day job, you're doing YouTube videos, you're putting in a lot of work, and this is gonna be a, you know, self-proclaimed compliment to you. Yeah. I really like what you're doing because you're not sacrificing quality because of your lack of time. Yeah. And it's pretty awesome to watch, man. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, just from a fellow YouTuber, I am working full-time YouTube right now. Yep. And what the content and the quality you're putting out is awesome because I know that how much time you scarcely have. You know? Anyway, take the compliment.
No, totally. And I think anybody that's in here is a YouTuber, like, sees all the stuff we're doing and they see those little elements. And if you're really looking at finer details, which you should be if you're trying to improve, you're seeing those little, like, ducking the audio over voices and those little subtleties of changing the speed of footage, and those little tricks. Those are all stuff that you can learn over time. And it's like, man, like, I always notice that stuff in people's videos now because I've started doing it. So it's like, that's really interesting, is like seeing how people are improving. And if you're not doing stuff like that, you look at stuff like what we're doing and they're doing and all that stuff. And I always try to just copy what some people do. And it's like that kind of helps me learn and gain new skills.
Or even, like, you say copy, but it's almost like sometimes see if you can do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, I mean, I came into YouTube never editing a video or filming before. You look at my first video, it's me on the Rilo in my living room with my dog with, like, a full yellow background. And you look at now and it's just like, it's just because you want to get better at something and put the time in. And I feel like you, from where your first video has been in just a short period of time, is pretty rad, dude. I'm not going to kiss your ass anymore, but
I mean, I like it. I think we probably should just do this the whole time. This is a great idea. What do you guys think in chat? Should we just talk about me the whole time? Absolutely. You guys all know how this is going to go. Look, by the way, I did miss a donation, and I apologize. Sorry, let me scroll up. Trail Monster, thank you so much, man. He said, hola, mi amigos. I'm glad you could jump in here. I apologize for taking so long to mention that, but there it is. Thank you for the $5, dude. I really do appreciate it. That is going towards, you know, beers. And in this case, we're drinking Blind Pig, which in my opinion is superior to Pliny the Elder.
Which is not what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, which is also delicious, by the way. But I'll fight you if you disagree with me.
But, like, can we just say, like, it's weird or surprising that Sky Park even has this on draft because how hard this beer is to get. Yeah. I mean, you know more than I do because it's Russian River's up near, closer to you.
Almost closer to San Francisco and stuff like that. Right. So it's like,
it's interesting because they always have it here.
I know, right? Like, but it sells out quick.
Maybe that's why it's hard to get elsewhere.
Yeah,
because Sky Park has
it gets all drunk here. We're going to Pliny.
Maybe it's just another reason this place is super rad. It's dude, like it's endless. What you guys, of course, saw in the joke reel for the sitcom we just did is there's actually all kinds of stuff to do for the kids and stuff too. Like, but this isn't sponsored anyway. I'm just super appreciative they let us do this. It was a whim. It was on a whim. Yeah. And it was like, let's see if we could do it. And Brad was super helpful. And like, so it's like, what can you say? The place is so cool. It's great to ride at. Yeah. But they were just super accommodating to this really silly idea.
One thing that people don't often talk about, and I always tell people this when I'm on site with people, but the staff here is so good.
Yeah.
Like, the entire staff is so well trained. They just know how to handle everything. You never see any grumpy staff, and everybody handles everything really well.
Yeah.
I like that about this place.
Yeah. So very cool experience out here. We've talked about Sky Park, but there's tons of other stuff to talk about in mountain biking right now. And I think one of the things we should probably talk about, we've talked about it briefly, but everybody that I see on the trail lately that I see is asking us about one thing in one thing only. What is it?
Nipple count?
Baby.
Nipple count?
No, isn't that what we're talking about?
No, we aren't talking about nipple count. Alan, get it together.
We were talking about that a long time ago. Not right now, though. We weren't talking.
No, Sedona Mountain Bike Festival.
Oh,
Everyone's been talking about Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. It's like the biggest thing on everybody's minds. We've been talking about this. Everybody's talking about it. Look, man, maybe you guys are building it up a little too high, but maybe it's getting oversaturated. But at the end of the day, it seems super rad.
Yeah.
We're all going to go there. And,
we're all going to be there. All three of us.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah.
Plus many other good companies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Incredible companies. And it seems to me that it's just going to be super exciting. Like, I've never been out there.
Yeah.
And it's just like basically a way to hang out. And in a pretty unofficial capacity, right?
Have you ridden out there?
No.
Okay. So you get the whole experience.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is the festival's at a time when the weather is prime.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of chilly. So right now, Sedona is like, I don't know, 90, 100 degrees. This
year it'll be at that time.
Yeah.
I think normally it's in the spring.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's usually in March. Because of COVID, they had to switch it around.
Yeah. And I think they're still doing the March one, right?
Oh, wow, they're doing two back to back? Damn. So I've been to Sea Otter and I've been to Sedona Bike Fest, and I want to say, like, I've had this conversation a couple times lately. Sea Otter feels like more product-based and more like trade show-ish.
Yeah.
And the Sedona one feels more social, come ride bikes, have a good time. And I'm not saying that in a bad way to Sea Otter, because Sea Otter's great and they do what they do, but I just feel like for the everyday person, if they just want to try out some bikes and meet some good people and hang out, I feel like Sedona is the place to go, right?
Yep.
I like that it was just really attendee focused.
Yeah.
Where there was cool places to hang out, there was good food. You could just easily spend a day there. When you a lot of times, like I think like Sea Otter's more like a trade show.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
There's a race and stuff like that, but it has more of the trade show.
But it's based
feel.
around products, new products, and there's a lot of buyers that go.
Yeah.
Like come from brands, companies, shops that go.
Yeah, Sedona, it's all about riding and hanging out, and there's like music and there's water stations everywhere, and then there's the bike park that's right there, so you can just get quick laps. Like I tried out shoes. Like you can like demo shoes.
Tried out shoes?
You could demo some 510 shoes.
I always thought that was weird that you tried shoes out, like used shoes.
I thought it was weird too, but, but I wanted to do it because I'm a YouTuber and that's a video.
That's what you do.
But you could just put them on and then go ride the trail right there. And that was great.
Yeah.
And then everything like within distance. And the thing we said, I think in the last live stream, I think we were on with Adam, a lot of people don't realize you can go to the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival without buying a ticket.
Without a ticket.
Yeah.
But I think you guys brought up a great point about what to do if you don't buy a ticket is what?
Is to donate to one of the local trail agencies.
And a great way to do that, and we talked this on the last live stream, is if you're staying at a hotel, there'll be a slot for them where you can donate just from the hotel too. So if you're not staying in an Airbnb and you're in an actual hotel, there's a little slot you can throw $10 down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just there when you're with your own bike, support the trails. Like that's what keeps this community thriving, right? Like
I think anybody that's been in the game long enough in terms of mountain biking, all right, first things first, when you start into mountain biking, it's like when I started, I didn't know anybody. I was like, that looks cool, basically is the start of my mountain biking career. And so I got into it. It's not like I had a buddy that was like, hey, get me into it, and so learning to ride with people, but you have a lot to learn when you first start mountain biking. And so the first start is where to ride, how do you ride, what do you do, how do you find trails and stuff like that. And then over time, the next natural evolution as you get better as a rider and you learn more people to ride with is okay, well, how does this stuff work? How does this get built? How do I help? All those things come into play.
Yeah.
My understanding is out here, they've got a full-on trail build crew, right?
At the Sky Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all they're all employees.
Yeah, and they're all kind of employees of the park, but that's not like that everywhere. And I think people in chat probably understand this. Most places have trail build organizations that are local, that are of that area, and there's ways you can get involved. You can go do a trail build day. You can contribute to local organizations, and all that stuff goes to basically the thing that we really dig doing, which is riding mountain bikes.
And most trails are volunteer maintained.
Yeah. And there's organizations so we talked earlier about I'm going to be going the end of the next month, going to Downeyville and the Sierra Trail Stewardship. I think that's what it is.
That's right.
I bought one of their shirts last time. I'm going to be talking with them when I'm up there. I didn't talk about this before. Talking about how to get involved in what they're doing up there. And if it's not for these types of groups and advocates, these trails aren't going to get built, right?
Yep.
They're not going to get maintained every year, and they're not going to get built. So it's volunteer-based nonprofits like that are really making these trails happen. So I really, like, you guys bring up such a great point, and I should even be better about this.
Yeah. Maintaining
trails, giving to them. Like, without those trails, without the volunteers that do this, we're not going to have those trails to ride, right? Like,
yeah. And I think about some of the trails that are going to get taken away from us.
Yeah.
Like, I made a video in Pacifica, which is the first time I rode it, and it blew my mind. But I found out that part of those trails are going to get bulldozed, basically. There's a housing development coming in that's going to just, take over the Boy Scout, which is that big jump area, which was like super slow-mo, dope, scenic, all this stuff.
That's the trail I kept getting recommended to go and ride up there.
And it's incredible. So ride it if you can, because it's going to go away soon.
Wow.
And so I also heard like Greer is another place that things are going to go away.
Some of it, that we'll be able to say some of it, that's actually, I'm glad you brought it up, because some of the stuff that's going on there is a good model for how you can kind of save some of your trails.
Yeah.
Ideally, you would have done some of these things earlier on, but just getting involved in your local trail advocacy groups and finding out what you can do.
Yeah.
Because cities, like I think an increasing number of municipalities are understanding the resource that mountain biking brings to their city, and just work with your local trail agencies or whatever and figure out what you got to do. That's kind of what it is. It's like, who do you need to email in the city, and what agency do you need to talk to? And the agency will usually give you that first one.
Yep.
And that's where it starts, and you just start doing that.
It's super rad.
So what's happening there is like, we might be able to save some of those trails.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to go into the whole details of it, but like, yeah, it did initially look like, oh no, the developers are coming in and they're going to destroy everything, but all the mountain bikers spoke up. We all interacted with some of the local agencies and with the city, and they are way more.
Yeah, I mean, we're 2-3 years out from anything happening, but it looks like the conversations are happening.
But we have to keep them going. Yeah.
Right, but without the community getting involved, these things, like, it's probably all of them will be gone. You know what I mean? Like, without the community getting involved and putting the efforts and creating the agenda, those trails will be gone.
Yeah. And it's totally true. And maybe it's just as simple as like, whoever it was didn't know people were so passionate about it until everybody was like, this big movement formed.
Yeah.
And I don't mind talking about this because we're in Southern California right now. So it's like, it's a good topic to talk about. But maybe they didn't know about it until all these people were sort of reaching out and all this stuff like, oh man, I didn't know people loved it that much. I thought it was just some kids going out there.
Yeah.
And you realize that there's maybe more to it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the city, but it seems like a lot of cities, as soon as they understand that their constituency is like, this is what they want.
Yeah.
And you're saying it to the right people, emailing the right people and showing up to the right meetings, then like it's a lot easier to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good
broad strokes there. But.
Yeah, we had some good people involved too, even people on the city council that understood the background and stuff, that were on our side, that were listening.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. We don't need to get in politics, but if people in your community are listening to what the community has to say, I mean, that's what you want, right? That's why you elect leaders. And to be heard feels good. And this is one of those times where we feel heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's great.
So that's awesome, man. So now that we're down in Southern California, at least, well, I am. You guys are always down here in Southern California. You guys are also down here in Southern California with me.
We're here too.
Now that we're here, I'm here in Southern California. Like, this was kind of a staple. I'm glad that you got me here. And you had talked about Snow Summit and some other stuff. Like, it's interesting because there's also the realization that coming up here is vastly different than riding down there, right?
Yeah.
And it's a short drive to the mountains. I didn't realize how like mountainous it was here.
Yeah.
And so it's like that short travel from the city to here, and it's like, whoa, that's a huge difference, right? Like, so I thought that was super interesting. We're gonna dive into that, but I also wanted to cover a donation, by the way. Again, I'm really slacking on the donations, and I apologize. Venture Apparel Company jumped in with a $9.99. I'm just gonna call it $10 because who's got time for?
Hey, you're wearing their shirt.
Yeah, and I'm wearing your jersey. Yeah. There it is. So rad company. You can see they fit really well. I mean, look at these. Look at these chi-chis.
You look sexy today,
really
I'll tell you.
Off the bars. Yeah, I don't know how we talked about nipples. And MTB Rad Dad just jumped in, who, by the way, could have been on this live stream. He was invited to this live stream, but guess what his response was?
He was being a good husband and taking cookies to his wife.
Get it together, Rad Dad. All right, get it together.
I'm
going to call you
who
not
needs
so
a wife?
Rad Dad.
Who needs
My
cookies?
wife's not listening, and that's why I said that.
Yeah, he did bring her cookies. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So we talk about like the differences in terrain and like what other stuff is like, what's like traditional Southern California riding? You guys hit Greer and there's some other stuff?
My favorite spot is Laguna.
Okay.
Laguna Beach, Aliso Woods, Aliso Wilderness Trail area there. That's kind of, I live in Fullerton, which is in the heart of Orange County.
Yeah.
So San Diego Oaks, Laguna are kind of my home trails, you know. So if I'm not up here, I can go in there. And the reason I say that now is because when you ask, it's really hot here.
Yeah.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Like it's like
I was like fully expecting to be like SoCal weather, and I got a little bit of that in San Diego. It was like 75 and humid. It was still hot, but like we're 112 up there. I'm like, oh, maybe we'll get a break coming down here.
Right.
That's not what happened.
No, you have to go to the shoreline, which is Laguna, and that's what's great. If you go there in the morning, you get that marine layer sometimes. You still got that little foggy mist, and it's like 10, 20 degrees cooler. Or you got to come up here. You got to drive like an hour up in the mountains, and it's crazy. Like you'll drive and you'll have the temperature on your truck, and you'll be driving up and you'll just see them knock it off. It'll be like 90 down to 75, and you're like, cool, here we go. We just changed seasons, people.
When we left this morning from down in the valley, it was like already getting hot down there. We're already sweating, and then by the time we got up here, it was like 75, I think maybe.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little bit. It got a little bit warmer, but it was so much nicer.
I'm going to branch into a couple side stories because now I've thought about them since we're talking about this subject of temperature difference, right?
Yeah.
So we ran into a guy at the ice cream shop, of all places, that recognized Alan, all right? We run into the ice cream shop. The guy's like, hey, MTB Alan. I'm like, yeah, I get that too. I get that up in Northern California all the time at ice cream shops.
I'm like, don't you know this guy?
Yeah, no, but so we run into him and basically he was like, I've kind of lost like the riding inspiration, like going out for a ride. Like I just don't feel like doing it. And like, what's maybe the solution? And like, there's a couple ways to do it, and we kind of talked about it.
And you went to this a little bit.
I did. We were talking about it today.
About like losing a little bit of that motivation.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're like, I think is just obviously get on the bike, but do a simple ride. Like, don't go something crazy. Don't go like do like a really hardcore ride. Just do something just to pedal, man.
Yeah.
Get your blood flowing, and as soon as you do that, like even if you don't want to, you have to. You'll remember like what you loved about it, and it's like, oh, that clicked, boom. Tomorrow, big ride, right? That's your like gateway drug into re-riding.
Yep.
I don't know why I use that phrase so frequently.
Gateway drug?
Gateway? No, it's true. I was. It's no secret. I've been on the injury list a bunch of times this year to the point.
I thought you were gonna say you like do gateway drugs.
In younger years,
okay.
I've done the gateway drugs, and they led into the different gateways, and there's a lot of gateways after that.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know, Joe. Is that what you want to talk about right now?
Damn floodgate. No, we don't want to talk about it.
Drugs.
But it's gonna bring the topic all the way back around. So watch this, ladies and gentlemen. See how I do this. All right. Basically, what I'm saying is, after that, we said instead get out of the heat. Go up the mountains, which is what we were talking about. You see that transition? So we said get out of the heat and go up to the mountains. And never is it more true than like, again, we're sitting there loading the car and like we get up here and it's like 20 degrees different. You're like, oh man, nice like cool breeze, tree cover, all the difference in the world.
You know, one thing I wanted to suggest to that person, and I didn't know if it was a great suggestion, so I'm gonna just say it here to like how many people we have?
60 something.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it to like 60 people instead of just one because I don't really know if it's a good suggestion.
Yep.
Is I was like, maybe clean your bike, like pull your bike out, like and just do a bunch of maintenance to it, and like maybe that'll like some people that might get them back on the bike. For me, like riding the bike is gonna get me back on the bike.
Yeah.
Like I've not really gotten to the point where I've like lost motivation to ride, but that's probably what would get me back on. But I thought like. Maybe
well, for me, there's a ritual. Like if I'm gonna go on a ride the next day, I'll wipe down my bike and I'll lube the chain, right? So that means tomorrow I'm riding.
Right.
And I think that for me, that's how I took what you said. It's almost like, hey, you're mentally preparing unconsciously almost like, hey, I'm doing this tonight because tomorrow I'm going to ride. So tomorrow you're already kind of setting up. And we talked about this before, like with just either going to the gym or doing something you don't want to do. You've always said like all you have to do is get out of bed.
Right.
And then all you have to do is take a shower, like whatever it is. Like, like for me, like I'm going on a trip to Utah next week and it feels daunting. I have all these bike parks I'm going to ride. I don't want to get injured.
Right.
And it's like, as fun as it is, there is some like, angst, like I hope I don't get hurt, right? So I'm trying to do one day at a time, like you said, like just get there.
Yeah, just do the next thing. Don't
and then the next day I'm gonna ride the bike park, and then the next day I'm gonna do that. Like, and because when you look at sometimes in anything, it could be mountain bike riding or any kind of job or anything you do. If you look at the big picture of anything, it's so overwhelming. But if you narrow it down into pieces, it's not that bad. Same with big features, right?
Yeah.
You got a big waterfall to do. If you nail that down into features and little sections. it's not as like, oh God, I got to do all that. No, you just have to do this first.
Yeah, you just got to do that
and
one part.
And then you'll get there. What do you got to pee?
No, I got to do the opposite.
You gotta pee on me?
Wait,
I thought I was going to sit
what's the
over
opposite
here.
of pee?
Drink.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's a great point. Yeah,
Come on.
That makes a lot of sense, Alan.
You just stayed down in the pants the whole time with your thought process.
Yeah.
That's
sure
how I
did.
do, because that's usually me.
Yeah, exactly.
Once I open the faucet,
It's such a great point, like breaking it down to the simplest thing,
Right.
little step by little step. People
Right.
want to create this giant goal for themselves,
Right.
but if you can create little goals, they all become achievable. No matter what you do, whether it's biking,
Yeah.
riding, making videos, anything else, anybody that's in here will totally get it.
yeah, it's not easy to do because like anxiety, if that's something that you struggle with or you deal with, or if whatever it is, it's taking yourself away from that and recognizing the thought.
Yeah.
And we're getting into like weird stuff right now, but like taking it away, recognizing the thought, pulling away, and then just saying like, hey, this is going to be fun, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's totally true. It's totally true. I think people get overwhelmed. When you get
Yeah.
overwhelmed, then you get dissuaded. Like
Yes.
you're like,
And then you won't
really
do
wanna
it.
Yeah, exactly.
you say no, but really you're going to have fun and you just go and do it. And
Somebody's
you're always
saying-
happier you get it.
Is my mic messed up?
No, I don't think so. Speaking of Tony's bosom so we can hear him. No, he's fine. He's just talking lower than me, and that's the problem because I talk too loud. Maybe
Oh.
Who,
what I
me?
need to do is set people on other mics than me because like to adjust for that volume is a little tricky. But we'll see what we can do here.
Whose mic is scrounging?
You guys can
Scrounging.
hear him. All right, let's cover
Okay,
a couple
yeah.
topics in chat while we're here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna look at and see what we got here. One, let's cover a couple donations that came in. Trail Monster, thank you again for the
Whoop,
$6
whoop.
donation. He said donated to the local trail orgs lately. He said donate to him. He went to torca.org and sdmba.org. So again, once you get involved and you know what it is, like you kind of want to. It's like you go to a restaurant and throw a tip. Why not like to the trails that you love? It's kind of a similar situation in my
Hey.
opinion. And then we also got a donation from Garrett McDermott. Garrett,
Hey.
thanks for jumping in here. If you guys don't know, Garrett is
McDermott.
he's very involved in the local Northern California scene. He's with Family Freeride, and they've got a small bike park not like this, more like a pump track and stuff for kids and families and us if we want to go practice. Rad environment, and they're working on installing more stuff. They're trying to get phase 2 working. So Garrett at Family Freeride, thanks for being here, man.
Where's that at?
That's it's in Fair Oaks, so it's not too far from where I live, but it's a
okay.
small little location, but it's like just a great like local spot, and it's like
Nice.
love is seeing those opportunities that
Yeah.
you don't need another tennis court. We need a little spot for people to get
Exactly,
on their bikes because
exactly.
everybody's got a bike. Everybody's got a bike.
Exactly.
So thank you guys for the donations. I really do appreciate it. That's huge.
Are
There
there a
you go.
number of NorCal people in the chat?
There should be quite a bit. Bike
Yeah.
Sums in here. Brian Gong, who just got back from
Yeti
Durango,
thing.
yep, the Yeti gathering.
Yeah.
So he'll give us the full trail report at some point.
Yeah.
He's very adamant about getting on a fireside chat soon, so maybe when I get back, I'll get him over. He'll give us the Durango
Nice.
report.
You think we're gonna see some NorCal people come down here?
To SoCal? Yeah, tell us
Yeah.
in chat, guys. You guys, you should come to Sky Park. Like, again, I talk about the idea, and this is a great topic, by the way. I talk about the idea of mountain biking and, hopefully you're not stuck to your regions. Like, you
Yeah.
guys aren't. I'm not. I will travel anywhere to do something cool. But, I know it's sometimes, the price of gas isn't that high. Like, a road trip, maybe even a 6-hour road trip can get you to a whole new trail system
Yeah.
you've never ridden before, meeting new people, exposed to new environments and new features.
I forget who I was talking to recently about it. 6 hours will get you to a different planet as it goes for mountain biking.
It's so true.
Literally,
Yeah.
right? Like you go from forest to desert to rocks to, it's 6 hours is literally in the scope of things for mountain biking different planets. The trails are so drastically different, especially on the west coast of the Americas.
Oh, yeah. Even
is the
just going,
Americas the thing?
The Americas?
Of America.
Of America.
That's a great, yeah.
Of the Canadas.
Yeah. Or yeah, dude.
In California, 6 hours. Actually, from the Southern California, 6 hours also includes Arizona.
Yeah.
And a
Sedona,
little bit further
Phoenix.
than that. I don't know if you can get to, you can't really do Utah. I mean, you can kind of do
Utah is about 8.
the lower.
Yeah,
like
St. George, and if you
yeah.
go there in the same time, and then if you're 4 hours north, you're Park City, and then if you're already there, you can go.
But I wanna say something to the people that have only been riding for a year or so.
Yeah.
If you're in the area in Southern California anyway, there's a huge range of terrain here too.
Yeah.
From the beach terrain, Sky Park, you have some of the valley terrains, which is a little bit more mellow. We've got Huldacrooks, down in Loma Linda, where
Yeah.
it's not rocky, it's more mellow. You've ridden there.
Yeah.
So you can find different terrains even within your own area, and I think that's a good thing to do.
And
too.
even though it's hot here in the summer, morning or evenings, you're fine. Like the weather right here, I mean, obviously we're in the mountains, but it's like it gets down to nighttime here in SoCal. Because we kind of technically are in desert. It's 60s, right? Yeah. So it's nice.
Have you done night riding?
I'm going to do one this week. It's the first time.
Night riding
it's
is
really
awesome.
Asked me that. I'm like, I'm going to do it this week.
The entire world loves the Calirado Kid animal adventure tours that I do on Instagram.
I've heard about these legendary feats.
Yeah, maybe like 3 people is what I really meant to say, but not like,
But they're on 3 different continents.
Yeah. Like, well, in my mind. I don't know. Nobody really cares. I think it's hilarious.
Are you really murdering birds?
Inadvertently.
Well, that was like his eyes.
You didn't see the lasers that came out.
I touched on the bird murder thing on Instagram a bit, so I won't just.
So it did happen when.
But okay, I've got news for everybody. People have been talking about Calirado Kid's thing with birds, but what we found out is that it's just happening around you. It's not. You're not doing.
You're not smashing your face into birds like on a roller coaster.
No.
But what I did learn.
What
I did learn is that Joe doesn't like rabbits.
Oh, why? They're so cute.
Like, he hates rabbits, dude.
Look, I'm not buying into the cuddly thing, all right?
No,
like,
come on.
okay, look, just because you're cuddly, you don't have me sold, all right?
Well, what is it with rabbits?
Specifically?
Yes.
Is it the teeth? Is it the ears? Is it the tail?
It's because they're stupid. Let me give you an example.
Well, so are cats.
Yeah. Well, they're at least intelligent enough to hate you.
Is that why you like ran straight into one on the trail?
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Oh my God.
This dumb rabbit. All right, I'm out on this. I'm out on one of my legendary, worldwide famous Calirado Kid nighttime adventure tours, which I keep changing the name. It's patent pending, but I'm out on this
acronym.
Yeah, I know. I'm out on this. I'm out riding, and if you guys don't know what this is, it's basically like I go out. It's about right before sunset, and that's when all the creatures come out, like rattlesnakes, all this stuff. So I have my phone on me, and I'm just boom, and I put it on Instagram. And there's commentary involved. And it's turned out to be this fun little event for me. Like, it really fascinates me.
Is there commentary involved in your Instagram?
What do you mean?
Like, commentary, is it involved in your Instagram?
Commentary involved in my Instagram?
Yeah.
People comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah. So anyways, getting back to the rabbit point, well, I'm riding on there, and this is their whole defense strategy I've discovered. So basically, as I ride the trail, I got the light up here, right? And all the rabbits are basically, they sit on the side of the trail. So it's a paved bike path. You know, it's a really great trail in Sacramento.
Some of them for Vuvuzela, some of them for like banging on stuff.
Yeah. And so like they're just sitting there in the grass. So like you've got a paved trail, and then on the sides you have just the grass.
Right.
So they're sitting in the grass. I don't know what they're waiting for precisely, but they're just sitting there. So their defense strategy, by seeing a predator, which is me, ride by on a big bike and looking mean and going like, with a mustache. I mean, it's the same effect against rabbits as it is at like kids' schools, but we won't talk about that. So like as I ride, like their defense strategy is to like from the side here, they just run out in front of me. Like instead of running into the grass, they run into me.
Are they maybe mistaking you for CHP?
They could be. I mean, I don't really think I resemble a police officer that much.
Oh, jeez. Help me!
I'm not doing anything.
So you wanted to know the reason why? Oh God, my mic's right there. I can't look at this unprofessionalism. Look, what I'm trying to say is the reason why I dislike rabbits because they're dum-dums and they ran into my bike. All right, like I literally saw a rabbit run across a park as I came, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep riding straight. He'll dodge. He'll dip and dive. They're smart enough to figure this out. Boom! Right into my bike. I ran over the damn rabbit.
Well, the thing is, we have to deal with the squirrels. I don't know if we have to deal with the rabbits, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the squirrels know better, but the rabbits, they're just like on their own thing. I don't know why it would run at you, though.
I'm going to turn that damn thing into a lucky rabbit foot, but I couldn't because I couldn't find the carcass.
Oh, you might not have killed it. You might have just like given it like a concussion or something.
No, I didn't. Definitely didn't kill it. And,
it ran off?
Not like all the birds that have been dying around me lately, no.
But just so everybody knows, it's not the birds, it's the rabbits.
Yeah.
So it's weird because like you go on these rides and the birds and a lot of the rabbits you were talking about it earlier, they're not dying because they're hitting you. They're just, as you go by them, they just die from the sky.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that we need to talk about. Like why are, if you're in a parameter of Joe on a bike that you just are dead.
Is it always on a bike or what's the conditions? What's the common thread? Other than you.
And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we will get back to mountain biking on this mountain biking podcast. But if you've just joined us, trust me, we've gone off the rails.
Come on.
It's fine.
You hit an animal on a bike. What's more mountain bikey than that?
I've bunny hopped rattlesnakes before.
Whoa, that's pretty awesome.
That's what, you know what? It's a sign.
Yeah.
What's the sign? You need to learn to bunny hop.
Bunny hop rabbit.
Literally.
You see it coming?
It fits the joke, and it's just perfect.
I thought you meant, do you see the joke coming?
Yes.
Anyway.
By the way, Bike Some, sorry, I'm catching up. Bike Some said, all right, he says the deal is he'll come down and ride SoCal trails if you guys come up and ride NorCal trails.
Yeah.
And little do you know that Outsider is going to be coming up. He's going to be riding Downeyville. He's going to be riding North Star. So that's going to be happening soon.
Yes.
And Alan, we got to get you up there. I know we've got some other people that we've talked about getting up to at least Downeyville at the very least. And I think Nevada City is close by and stuff like that. But you know, it's just, you know, drive time and planning, and sometimes it's hard, but once you get the free time and you make it happen, it's always worth it, man, especially when there's cool people to hang with.
If anybody has any recommendations for a place to rent a bike, I might just fly up.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You could rent it from the Yuba or Downeyville shuttles, right?
Yeah, out in Downeyville, they rent, just call ahead, and you could probably dial it in.
There you go.
For sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Just fly into Sacramento?
Yeah.
The Sac.
Sacto.
Drive it, Sacto?
Sacto. I think it's
Sac.
Sacto, isn't it?
He calls it the Sac.
The Sac?
Yeah, I always tell people I'll see you in the Sac.
We used to say Sacto in skating. We're going to fly to Sacto.
Well, we don't get uppity about it like people in San Francisco when you call it San Fran. They get all dippy about it.
I thought San Francisco was long for San Fran.
I mean, that's what I thought.
What? What? Is SF still approved? SF?
SF is fine.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
When I moved to Southern California, everything was like shortened.
Yeah.
People would go, we're going to the river.
What's that mean?
And I was like, what? There's only one?
Yeah.
Actually, but I learned there is kind of only one.
Yeah, there's not a lot of rivers here.
Not
or
a lot
lakes.
of rivers, yeah. I mean, there's LA.
We got Big Bear Lake, but it's now like a puddle.
Yeah.
Now that is one of the benefits of Sacramento I was talking to you about. We actually have the Sacramento River running through town, and it's straight like clear water straight from Lake Natoma and Folsom Lake, so you can float the river. Like it's actually pretty rad to get some inner tubes and float down the river for a couple hours with a couple beers or whatever else. But the water's so cold and it's 100 out, it feels fantastic.
Oh, that sounds great.
That's great.
So like I think about like Downeyville riding, and it's like, dude, dunking in that water, which is ice cold, after a ride is probably the best thing you could do.
Yeah, at the end of your video, you had this build up like how cold it was, and I'm wondering if it was because that was probably you filmed it not after the ride. It was just going to be cold.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what it, so it's a really big, because it's cold there. It's like ice cap melt, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, even though it's 100 degrees, you're still jumping in glacier water or something. Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't prepared for how cold it was going to be in that shot when I actually jump in the water.
Yeah.
I told you guys earlier, like I literally lost my breath on that. I was like, wait, let me do that again. Somebody will screenshot that, I'm sure. But I like, you could see it in the video. Like I was like, I couldn't talk for a second. That's cool. Like it was, I never had that happen before. So that was pretty wild.
Dang.
But you know, when you jumping in town, it's like, it's super refreshing because you can control that. Like when you're just jumping in blind, it was a little different.
Your nipples were okay?
No, they were very, very hard.
Chafed.
Yeah.
Chafed. So there's 2 shuttles in Downeyville. You recommend, do you have a recommendation?
I think both of them are great. I have a tendency to work with Downeyville Outfitters because I know Greg and his wife. And they're super cool, but Yuba's also great. Like
that's what I used last time, Yuba.
Yeah, I don't have any problem against them either. Like they're great too. They're all supporting the same cause. Like I think they're running less shuttles this year than they used to. There was something that was happening, obviously COVID, but like, so I think they're running less than Downeyville Outfitters is, but at the end of the day, like they're still cool too. I mean, like I got no qualms. They're all supporting the same infrastructure.
I've said this to you like in private, but I thought I'd just say it in the public sphere that your Downeyville video was really nice because most of the time when I see Downeyville videos, it's like it's about the trails.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about the way you did it and you showed the town more. Like, cause in my head I imagined like 3 shacks and then there's like trails over there. And like you showed the town and it made me go, I want to go hang out in that town as well.
It's this really beautiful little town.
Yeah, I didn't know that about it. So that like made, and if you guys haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah, he's got a great video on Downeyville.
Yeah.
He kind of...
Yeah, it came out like a year ago, right?
A week ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because like that's one of the things, like once I started like researching Downeyville, like I've obviously ridden there a bunch of times, but when I started looking at like all the videos, it was all a certain type of video. It was all very much POV and things like that. There was very few options, and I was like, well, I don't want to do another one of those. I want to maybe try to do something different. And like that really came in after filming everything because I filmed three runs. I was running the GoPro the whole time. And so like doing all those runs and stuff. And then when I edited it, I just basically like didn't use any of the GoPro footage. Like I was like, there's so much of it, like, and that's not a bad thing because it's always still fun to watch people do it. But I was like, I'm gonna just see if I can just take this and do something a little bit different.
Yeah, do something different. I mean, there's so many, and that's where I'm trying to feel like too, because I'm going up there and I'm gonna make some videos.
Yeah.
So I want to put a spin on it too. And what I would like to do is sit down with the people that are working on the trail stewardship and some of the people involved in the community and figure out like, hey, how can we bring more awareness, or what is going on here? Because we talked a little bit about how those communities are going to be starting to branch into other towns, and the trails are going to be starting to be built to expand the economy and expand the trail network. So I would love to talk to them about what some of their plans are, and to get into the background and to share that experience, you know, like, and obviously show the trails too. But dude, like, and I'm really getting into this stuff now. It's like, you're only on the trail for a couple hours a day. What are you doing in these places the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
So a place like that, there's so much cool stuff. There's amazing food, there's beers, there's beautiful rivers that are rolling through. Great rides you can do off-roading. Like, there's just so much to do off the beaten path when you can enjoy yourself as much as you are on the trail, off the trail. You know?
I don't think you realize how essential that is. It's like, we all go ride trails, but what do you do after? It's like you're counting on texting a buddy like, hey, where do I go to eat? Where do I go to this? It's like, maybe there really is a need for that. I think it's really interesting to hear about like how this town formed or whatever else, and like, how the trails are being built. Like Downeyville hosts the Downeyville Classic every year. And it's like, dude, I don't know a lot about it. I've never been out there. I've never seen it. I know there's videos that exist about it, but it's like, that's really interesting how they handled COVID. Like that's because they had to cancel it twice, I think. So that stuff's super interesting to me. It'd be cool to talk to them and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Totally, man. To get the inside perspective, and just, it's also interesting to see like how they live, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a small little mining town that's blossomed into an economy based around mountain biking.
Yeah.
Where is that happening elsewhere?
Yeah.
It's just so cool. I just think it's great.
There's so many opportunities in what we do to see growth, and like going and looking at a city or whatever it is that's willing to invest in the mountain bike community, like, and realize the potential and throw money at it, like, not in a bad way, but I mean, like, going like, dude, let's do whatever it takes. We were talking about, you know, the downtown that was revitalized because the city started to get it and invest money, and then people are coming in. You have lines around the block for ice cream places or whatever. Like, you know, the same idea for mountain biking. It's like, dude, you can spend a little bit of money on the trail systems and just have people flood in, and it's like, realize that, like, Bentonville's the one, right? Bentonville's the example, right?
It's the total cliche of like, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Right. And then like, they're doing that exact cliche, and people are coming.
Yeah.
That town is thriving. The economy is insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, based around a culture of outdoors activities and mountain biking and hiking. It's great.
Yeah.
It's super interesting because, like, I feel like mountain biking is super popular, but I also still feel like it's very much in its infancy. Like, we go ride trails, but they're not super saturated sometimes. Like, on the weekends, probably this place is nuts. But like, today was pretty quiet. And that makes sense because everybody's working or doing everything else.
Right.
But like, I still don't feel like it's mainstream, right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I mean, well, look at the Toyota post.
yeah, that had to be fake, right?
I don't think so. I don't think it was fake.
It was so bad, it was good, but like, at some time.
But even like the response when they were like, okay, we took our training wheels off.
Yeah.
Even like some of those shots, I was like, yeah.
They really were trying.
You did get a real mountain biker with a Yeti. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a Yeti, so I guess it was okay. But you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know some really handsome people that ride Yetis, by the way.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is I definitely agree that it's not mainstream.
Yeah. Speaking of building it and they will come, MTB and Adventure is in the chat. Aaron, who is out there currently building on the BKXC and MTB and Adventure property.
Yep.
They've got a ton of trail building going on. I've been out there. Dude, and stuff like that just really sparks your interest in trail building, because I really do enjoy it just as much as I like, you know, going out and riding. Like, to me, it's so fun, and it really does. It kicks your ass. Like, it's like a super big workout, but it's also like that fun creative element. The same thing of like developing a video where you mark out the trail and you start cutting it in. And it's like something forms from nothing. Like, I think we can all appreciate that.
Yeah, it's an art form. I think it really is. Trail building is an art form, right? You have to learn where the water goes, where it doesn't go, where you want it to go, and mix all the things that are based around fun into maintaining the longevity of that trail.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would love to learn that I like almost know zero about. I just know that I know what trails I'll ride down and I'll tell you what I like and don't like.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to build what I like and don't like, you know? And that's admittedly coming from someone that doesn't have a lot of experience in that. And that's what I would love to get more involved in, or like learn from someone like Aaron. Like he's out there every day, right?
Yeah.
With Brian and building out trails and learning as he goes a bit, because this wasn't his like firstborn career, right?
No,
So
exactly.
I don't know. I like it's a question. Get him on there and be like, how did you learn how to do this? You know,
I know for example, like he's done trail building at the Elk Grove Bike Park, so he's been helped maintain the jumps and all that stuff. So he's got a little history in it.
Okay.
So it's like I just basically follow his line. I'm like, I let him tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how much experience you have, Alan, but like I also like in the same boat. Like I literally don't know a ton about it. I now know how to cut in and grade, but like as to like what makes an excellent trail, like that's hard to define, right?
Yeah.
Like
I've done like maintenance, just like basic maintenance on stuff where you can see what was done and it's kind of like fallen apart over the years, and done some of that, trail clearing, stuff like that. But as far as like building a trail, wouldn't even know where to start.
And I remember in some of Aaron's earlier videos, he was on, he did some videos with the Downeyville crew helping out too. So I feel like he's kind of been involved in this stuff for a couple of years maybe.
Yeah.
MTB Adventures.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
And it's so interesting because like when we
But
go,
the nice thing is we don't like need to know.
yeah.
Because there's people that are really good at it, but what we can do is volunteer.
Right.
Yeah.
We could, just like you've been doing, where like you bought a McLeod, you're gonna go like do work on this stuff. They give you the tools if you don't have tools.
Yep, they always have them. Yep.
Yeah. Move that rock, like grade that out. Like,
And that's sometimes what it takes is somebody basically just, I'm your workhorse. Just tell me what to do, and you learn from that.
Yeah.
But it's the same reason why like our videos improve or our podcasts improve or whatever, our writing improves. It's because we have that desire to improve and become better at what we do. And so like when I start building something, now I'm legitimately curious, like how do you build a wooden berm? How do you build a wooden drop? Like now I really want to do it. So I want to go cut down some trees and I want to start building some wooden features. And it's not because I want to please anybody other than myself. Like, and it's like, it's funny, but it's like, it legitimately is true. Like, I just want to like, it sounds so fun to me.
Yeah.
It sounds so fun to me. And it's like,
I want to cut down some trees.
Yeah.
Just cut them down. And
That one right there.
Brian's like, settle down with the tree cutting. Let's just calm down here. He has to talk me down off a ledge.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's like, it's that same principle of improvement. It's like getting involved in something you really dig. And it's that same bug that like makes us improve.
You know, like talking about the kind of the core, the soul of mountain biking. It's funny, if you think about a lot of other sports, you don't find yourself thinking about like being involved in the terrain you're riding on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's a little bit different with street skating because you're riding stuff that wasn't built for skating, but even skate parks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you'd go ride the skate parks, like maybe you didn't think about who built them or who maintains them or any of those kind of things. You would just go do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like within the mountain biking community, there is a higher level of consciousness of the work that goes in that creates the playground that we get to live in or get to play in.
Absolutely.
Howdy.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you guys?
Hey.
Good. We are live right now on YouTube. Would you like to say anything to anybody?
Yeah, you want to say anything to all the thousands of people?
Yeah.
Greetings.
Hey.
Good.
I'm a trail marshal here.
Hey,
Oh,
how's it
excellent.
I'm off duty. I was at Summit. But I said
Excellent. Man, I now want another mic. I kind of want to talk to you
Yeah.
about this place.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
For sure.
All right, come on in. All right, first of all, we're gonna mic this guy up. He's gonna take my mic for a second. We'll go back and forth. Trust me, this is off the cuff. We're gonna make it work. Don't worry. This is the best part about a live stream is that you can just do things at any moment, real time, and that's what matters. And the lighting is incredible right now. Holy hell, the sun's set.
It really
We're looking
fanned
fantastic.
out.
Yeah, like,
All right, here it is. So we're gonna kind of treat it as a far off mic like this. What is your name, first of all?
I'm Robert.
Robert, nice to meet you, man. I'm gonna go wide shot here. So you're a trail marshal out here.
That's correct.
And we're talking about, first of all, the fact that Brad was super awesome about supporting us coming out here and doing this live stream and stuff. But also, it's my first time out here. I'm a Northern California rider. And we're talking about how rad it is to have a place that's basically an adventure park for adults and kids and everybody. And like, it makes you feel like a kid. It's like when you go to a park, it's just super exciting. Like, I don't know, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, perfect example is I rode Summit from open to close today.
Yeah.
In the rain.
Yeah.
And on my way home, I still came.
It rained at Summit today?
It did. It was sick, man.
Sick.
It was pouring. I did 10 ply when it was pouring, man. It was so sick.
God damn it.
And then we went back up and did like some of the secret stuff over by fall line in the rain.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no secret stuff over there.
There's
What
no
are you talking
secret
about?
stuff over there.
No,
Trust me, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
that
don't worry about it.
But yeah, man, it was rad. But I was still like, dude, I want to hit Sky Park, get some laps in.
Yeah.
On the jump line.
And that's what's super fun because it's basically like it's a place that you could come and get an hour in and have a lot of you're doing a lot in an hour,
Sure,
you
man.
know?
I mean, I literally tell people I work in a magical forest.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of true. Like, I really do. Like, the density of the forest, how well groomed the trails are, like, the density of the wildlife. We have a lot of endangered species out here.
Yeah, you guys in the morning, I heard a lot of times from Brandon that you guys see bear see bear tracks and
We
stuff.
see bear all the time. I mean, we see tons of snakes. We see deer. We
Yep.
have, like, a herd of, like, I think it was 16 was last what the ecology lady told
Oh,
me.
yeah?
A deer that lives here. 16 strong herd, bear. There's a cat here, like a mountain lion.
Oh, yeah?
There's bobcats too. I had one come up to me literally within touching distance.
That's cool.
A couple of nights ago, bobcat. So it's literally a magical place for sure, man. Like the encounters with wildlife, the people here for sure, like MTB Allen, Outsider MTB, like all
Who
these
are those
people
guys?
come here. Like people who just
We're some of the wildlife.
Yeah, that mustache, I believe it. Sorry, that mustache, I believe it. Yeah.
it's packed, man, with good people, good trails, amazing wildlife encounters. So it's just like it's such a sick spot, and it's awesome. I didn't know about it until I worked here.
That's great.
Cool.
Yeah, so great.
Take
team,
it from
man.
the
So damn
horse's
cool.
mouth. Is that a thing?
Huh?
Take it from the horse's mouth?
Put
think
it
that
in,
makes
put it in the
sense.
horse's mouth.
Put it in the horse? No, that's
Guys,
not
don't make it inappropriate, all right?
No.
What? I was talking about a carrot.
You're being weird, Alan.
Questions about Sky Park?
No, I mean, literally, like, we spent a lot of time. Now I'm really hot. Okay, one of the things, not hot specifically, but the mic.
You are pretty
I'm trying
hot.
to manage all this stuff real
Dang.
time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's
Look,
difficult.
I mean, really, what I can say is, like, I appreciate how well designed. And one of the things we talked about is the idea of, like, how the trails crisscross. And a lot of times you're on a trail and you don't realize there's another trail right next to you. And it's so hidden within the foliage that is so dense with trails. It's super rad.
Literally, what I came here to do, the line I like to do is I'll do just the top section of jump line.
Yeah.
You know, to the second bridge.
Yeah.
And I just cut off and get on sleigh ride, and then there's some rhythm rollers on the bottom, and then I'm already about a third of the way up line. So I did like 6 laps of that, just crank it out, and then just work on your. I've been working on my tabletop, like in the air. I'm trying to work towards seat grabs and stuff, so you have enough airtime on those tabletops to be creative and work on stuff.
Yeah.
But they're pretty safe.
Yeah.
So it's like it's such a sick line to just work on
Yeah.
stuff and just work on like scrubs or like tabletops or whips or whatever, man.
We were talking about earlier, I learned to jump here.
Oh, dude,
From
this is a
sleigh
great place
ride to
learn
arrow to jump
for
line.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people actually, because
Right.
I've seen just the time I've worked here.
Like, I don't think
beginners
I-
come and develop.
I don't
their
think I
jump
would have been
skills.
able to ride Snow Summit if I didn't ride here first.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because you can't grow from 0 to party wave.
People totally downplay the difficulty here as well. Like
Yeah.
I did Tenply twice today, and
Yeah.
Tenply is gnarlier than Comet, but Comet's still not like no joke.
Right.
Like if you ride Comet and you're trying to get ready for Tenply, Comet's a good run.
Right. Well, it's always like every trail. Like people are like, "Can you ride this trail?" Like, yeah, you can. Like blue trail can become black. Depends on your speed.
Yeah,
Like, how fast do you want to hit that
Have
trail?
you ever ridden KP?
Yes.
Keller Peak?
Or exploration trail?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
yeah.
KP is the perfect example of that, where it's like a blue-black. Like there's
Right,
extra lines, you
right.
can gap off stuff if you
And
want.
there's features you can do on the
Exactly, but
sides.
if you want to just like chill and go around everything,
Yeah.
it's totally
Yeah.
that's doable too. So
Totally.
Dude, well, thanks for jumping in, man. I'm glad you could stop by and say hi. Dude, I love this stuff. It's like, dude, learning about
Thanks,
what it
dude.
goes into it and all that stuff. I'm going to bring these volumes back
you
down.
guys gonna be here this weekend?
I can't. I got to drive back up to Sacramento in a day or so. But
So what do you ride up there, man?
my main riding up there is basically like Auburn. The thing is, my time is so limited, but I love Salmon Falls area, Sly Park. I'm trying to get up to North Star. I just did a big Downeyville video. And so all that stuff is super sick. So, yeah. Dude, well, appreciate it, man.
Pumped to have you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you can make it out here and stop in real
I'll
quick.
see you guys sometime.
Yeah,
dude.
sure.
For sure. Have a good night.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
your
man.
work, bud.
Of course. Well, helmet.
Right
No,
here.
no worries. And that's really one of the things we talk about is like the idea that like you can come out here and you can practice jump lines. And we had talked about this briefly on the ride we did today, is the idea that like I don't get to practice jump lines where I live. In
Right.
general, like there's certain sections in Tahoe and you could go to North Star, but I don't in general get to practice jump lines. And coming out here, it's like no wonder why you could get good at it,
Yeah.
because it's easily accessible. You could do a short climb and you could just get up there, repeat.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the things that happened today is like we go up the first run of the day, just awful. There's no camera footage to prove it, but just awful.
Yeah.
And so that first run of the day is like getting warmed up and all that stuff. But then like after that first run, second run, third run, there was legitimate progression. And all of a sudden like these like you remember those wooden jumps into Arrow?
Yeah.
They give you the small one, then
There's
they give you the
2.
big one. The third run of the day, like I cleared them. And like the first run of the day, I just rolled on top of them, rolled down. So that's quantifiable improvement in riding, right?
I mean, that you just described my first couple times coming here. That's how it was. I was like, okay, what's this? Okay, and then you just lift it up, and then, oh, I'm over it. Like, you figure it out, and then what do? You take that, and you move it into other trails.
Yep.
You know, like that feeling. And it sticks with you, man. Like, once you get that little, like, rhythm down, I mean, that's jump progression, right? Like, or that's just trail progression, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't get to hit it today, but they put in the session jump. I think that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Is that right here?
Yeah.
At the end?
There's just like a little quick climb, and you get to like hit that jump over and over and work on your jump progression. And it's a big jump for Sky Park, but the way it's built, it makes it easy to hit. And case, if you're okay with, if you like are still getting used to the jumps.
Yeah.
But then once you start going big, you can go really big on the jump. So it's really cool to see.
And that's really nice because like there's places like Pacifica that like those jumps in Boy Scout are gnarly.
I've seen the videos. I'm like, wow, like
they're gnarly. Like you're gonna die if you miss it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna ride that trail alone.
You're not gonna see me tackle that trail anytime soon. Like it's exactly right.
Yeah.
But it's like stuff like here is forgiving enough that the tabletops, and again, sessionable, quick climb up. The climb is again as a mile of grade as you could possibly have. I mean, and like you said, at the end of the day, it's like it's a more difficult climb, even though it's the same climb, right?
Yeah. Well, your legs get tired more. They get steeper as the day goes on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just because you're getting tired, but it's pretty mellow as far as like a non-lift bike park. And I know there's not many non-lift bike parks, but if you're gonna make one, I mean, they've dialed it.
I think this is like the shining example of what a non-lift bike park is. Like,
for sure.
I don't know how to other way to describe it. It's like, and again, I've never seen anything like this. So like for me, it's still like really cool, and I'm super stoked that you guys were able to get me out here. Alan, when I reached out to you, you're like, I was like, I don't know where to ride. You know the area. He's like, I'd really love to take you to Sky Park and Snow Summit or whatever, right? So it's like, those are the places we're gonna hit. And I'm like, whatever you say. You know what I mean? Like, and like, obviously it's right, because it's so cool to see this stuff, and I'd love to see this in other places. Like,
for sure.
Quick, easily accessible, you know, mild climbs, cool downhill stuff. It's like, man, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. There's so much room for activities.
There are a lot of activities here as well. Like, so if anybody's we're on the subject of Sky Park.
Yeah.
If you pay for a ticket, you can do the zip line, you can axe throw, you can do the train, which we loved.
Yep.
You can zip around this whole place and you know, get some high quality cookies.
You know what you'll get here that you won't get it anywhere else.
What's that?
You might see.
Oh wait, is that the big guy?
You're the big guy.
The big guy.
The big guy.
The big guy lives here.
The big guy lives here. He's asleep right now, but
He
you
is.
might see him. Sometimes he comes
Well,
out.
he's kind of a lazy drunk in the summer.
It's all that cocoa, man.
I thought you were gonna say it's all that coke, but
when you walk by Santa's house, you hear the snoring. In fact, Alan was like, "Do you hear that?" And I thought he was pointing to the bees in the bushes. I'm like, I don't hear are they doing something different? And he's like, no, the snoring. I'm like, oh, now I hear it.
Yeah, he comes alive in the fall, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him. So he just gets coked out. He just gets some sleep on in the summer.
Drinks the cocos.
Here's the question of the day: Does Santa like ride downhill here?
He has been known, but he's got to be really.
Known.
He's got to be really
It's just
juiced up.
Yes, that would be exciting. All right, so one of the things that's really cool that just happened right now. Ooh, did you see that?
Yeah, that was close.
I kicked a beer bottle right underneath my feet, and it did not fall.
Wow.
Fantastic. But we've got Curtis Ellis in here. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in this live stream.
Whoop, whoop.
Here we are, real time. Look, we have been at it for about an hour and 12 minutes. I think we're going to go for a tiny bit longer, but if there's anything specific you guys want to talk about in chat, now's the opportunity. You know, this place closes down. They've actually probably closed the doors at this point, and we're just hanging out, just buying time, and I think it's pretty sweet. But I really was stoked to ride here. I'm glad we could set up a live stream here. We had a ton of people jump into this thing, and it's been absolutely awesome. The feedback's great. I'm glad you guys could join us. This worked, and in fact, this lighting's incredible right now. Let's just talk about that for a little bit.
2 questions that came in that I saw, or one statement that came in from Trail Dogs. They did say it's good to mention that this place is open year-round.
Yeah.
So when you get an annual pass, it is an actual annual pass. They do sometimes close down. They will fully close down if the whole place is snowy, and other times they'll close down like certain portions, certain parts of the trail. And then somebody asked like about the mileage and elevation, and it's like I would say 12 to 15 miles.
Yeah, you do feel it a little bit.
Yeah, and like 2,500 feet, 25 to 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
The climbs are short though.
The climbs are easy. The climbs are short. Look, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? Brian Gunk says Calirado Gilroy Gardens project is like Sky Park. Okay, well, they're working on that, right? That's not been officially approved, or they're working on it, something like that. I'd be curious to see what's going on with that. Did I miss a donation? Did I really? Segment just jumped in.
Yeah, that just happened.
Okay, Segment, thank you, sir. I'm bummed you couldn't be here. I would have loved to have you on the live stream, but you had other things going on today. I think you said you had to go practice for a weightlifting competition or something, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was like bikini weightlifting.
Yeah,
like
bikini weightlifting.
in bikinis.
Yeah, that might have been it. So Mark, thank you, man. It was awesome to do the live broadcast from your house. Literally, I set up a multi-million-dollar studio in your kitchen. That was really exciting. But it's a lift access project, so we got to follow along with that and see how it goes. All right. Hey, Mr. Percussive jumped in. Good to see you, buddy. You've been on the road quite a bit too. This guy's traveling all over the place shooting stuff. Pretty rad. Another fellow YouTuber. That's one of the things as a final topic that's interesting, because a lot of this is one big supportive YouTube community. Like, this never would have came about if I didn't just reach out to you randomly and be like, hey dude, is it cool if we ride?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you could have easily just said, I don't really know you. Like, you know, kind of, right? We put out videos and some of it's silly, some of it's good. But you could have easily just said like, yeah, I mean, I'll recommend a trail for you.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I've found it's like everyone's so accepting and happy to show off their trails. It's like, it's a pretty rad environment, like for the most part. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Totally. So
I feel like, especially because not only are we mountain bike advocates, but we're all trying to make great videos together. So all bounce off each other. We have the same brains, people.
I know.
Like, you know, like we can kind of all just morph together and make a big brain and then branch off, you know?
I think you're right. I think oftentimes it's easy to be like, hey, how did you do that thing that you did in your video? Like, I've always wanted to do that. How did you do it? It's like, oh, it's like a brain trust, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a cool community, and there's people from all over, and it's great because one of the side effects of starting the whole YouTube thing was building like not a worldwide network, but like people all over. They know us because of our videos, and you can reach out and get tips, and that's really helpful. Like, where should I ride? Even if it's just as simple as like, where should I ride? Versus like, you know, I'm gonna come ride with you specifically, but like, hey, I know you're local to the area. Give me some suggestions. Where do I eat? Where do I ride? Things like that. And like, even those mild connections never would have happened if you hadn't put yourself out there and just like, you know, done that stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a great network, and I think that's mountain biking as a whole. I think there's some elements in some places that are a little bit more restrictive, is like they're not really into that. But for the most part, wherever I go, it feels like the mountain bike community as a whole is really accepting and just digs it and is stoked and just wants to have fun. And how cool is that?
That's awesome.
Hella cool.
That's the life.
That's why we're here.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what we're doing. And so that's why I'm excited to be here. I'm glad we could broadcast live from Sky Park. Again, we couldn't have done it without Brad. We couldn't have done it without people taking the time to let us do this silly thing, which, you know, at the end of the day is really all about you guys in chat and us just hanging out. And it's just a chance for us to hang out and talk about the thing we like to do. And so I'm glad we could all be here. With that, I think we're going to sign off. Is there any final words you guys want to talk about tonight? Should we all say our catchphrases? I don't have a catchphrase, so I don't want to do that.
Wait, what's your catchphrase?
I don't know if I have a catchphrase.
I thought you had a catchphrase.
I had a good saying, and I've said it once before. I don't know if I've repeated it, but the saying is, it's hard to improve when you already think you're the best.
Ooh.
And it's funny, but it's like, I was going to say it's
like,
smart.
It's like joke inception.
Yeah.
It's joke inception because like, think about it for a second. All right, think about it in your head. It's funny. Wait, no, what was I going to say?
It's funny.
No. It's hard to improve when you already think you're the best.
Right.
So the joke is, I think I'm the best, but I'm obviously not because I'm not at all. Like, but it's
this
like
is like way funnier when you explain it.
Every joke I find is funnier when you explain
Exactly, when you do the punchline.
You have one. You're like, see you next week.
Well, mine is like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next week. But like, they don't. Mine is more. Mine used to be, I'm here to bring your trail maps to life. You know, that's what I like to do. Bring the trails to life.
The best part about these live streams to me is like having you guys on, which are like your subscriber counts are way larger than me. So me to tell any of my viewers to go, hey, go subscribe to these guys, like it's not gonna do shit for you.
I don't care. I mean, I love the process is amazing, man. Like you're doing something that's totally unique from what I do or Alan does.
Yeah,
like,
nobody's doing
If anyone could see the background of what's going on here, it's like we're in an NBC studio. Honestly, it's amazing. And watching him set it up for a couple hours, there's a lot of time that goes into this behind the scenes, and Joe's really putting that time in. And as an early channel, like, dude, like you're going places.
Yeah.
This is something that is not. I don't see a lot of people doing.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome to be on here with you.
Yeah.
Because just remember me when you're a million followers. You know?
It's never gonna happen. The content I'm making is just not for everybody.
Yeah,
I should go make some bike reviews for Christ's sake.
So what are you gonna shave into your beard?
Nothing.
It doesn't have a beard yet.
I don't want to talk about it. All right? We kept this whole thing pretty clean for the most part. That always comes up. I don't want to talk about it. Look, thanks for jumping in, everybody. I really appreciate you guys being here.
What camera should we look at?
Bike Some, MTB Rad Dad. I'll go to the wide shot here in a moment, but I'm going to catch up. By the way, we had a donation from Charlie Hicks come in. Charlie, thank you so much for the $9.99. What am I saying? A $10 donation.
Yeah.
$10
Donation for the next installment of Trailhead Troopers. Bring it. I don't think you're prepared, Charlie. Here's what I'm going to say about Trailhead Troopers, the next installment of Trailhead Troopers. If you guys are fans of that, think about all of the camera skills and all of the tricks that I've pulled and all of the videos I've done since then, and imagine that. I'm basically gonna have to shoot a TV episode to do this next installment, which is daunting, but also like exciting at the same time. So this has to happen soon, and I'm hoping to get involved, and I'm gonna call it production soon because like it's gonna be way more than you guys need. Everyone, all of you are gonna regret asking for this. Everyone involved. Look, thanks for jumping in, guys. I'm glad you guys could be here. Here's the wide shot. We're all looking at this camera right here. Thanks, guys, and live from Sky Park. We couldn't have done it without them. It's been amazing, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for jumping in, guys.